Hey plant pals, Mike the Gardener, and today's video is on propagating. A friend of mine, as I said, I was propagating this setup here. I'm still getting used to my new setup. A friend asked me what I what I was up to, and I said I'm propagating some plants to start so I can take them outside. And they asked, well, how do you do it? And I was like, well, it's real simple. You just take a plant and you stick it in water. They said, well, can you do a video? I said, sure. So that's where we're at. So basically, this is basil I want to propagate to put outside because I love basil. So you have the, oops, yeah, see, hitting the camera. So what I did was I cut all the lower, what I do is I find what's really helpful if you find a branch that has a long stem before it branches off, and then it'll have the branches down here. So it had another branch growing off, this way and that way, and so I cut it right above it so that the plant will keep growing and becoming bushier, and it had a really long space between the nodes. So this is a node, and then below here was a node, and like even on this plant, if you look up here, see, oops, sorry, here's a node, and then that's a node. So if I wanted to propagate this plant, and I had a small jar of water that I wanted to propagate in, I could just cut it right here, and then discard or use the rest of this. So anyway, I have a glass of water. I'm just going to stick that in here for now, close to the camera. And I've done that for a few times. They're looking kind of sad, Wilty, because I was busy. See, this right here is where it touched the light, but I'm going to get rid of it. You can eat it. Something wrong with it. It touched the LED element, which was hot. It kind of burnt itself on it. And so what you do is you just stick them in a glass of water. And you can there are some people who add root hormones, and you can do all kinds of things to get it to, and I just stick it in water. I don't do anything special to it. You can put it in your mouth for a second. Your enzymes in your saliva also help to root. And I've tried it. I've done experiments in the past where I tried rooting powder. I've tried several different methods to get these to take root, and the one that actually did the worst was the rooting powder. No idea why, but I believe that rooting powder is supposed to be for indoor house plants that are like orchids and ferns and stuff. At least in my experience that the easiest thing to do is you just stick it in your mouth for a second. On the tip, where you cut, stick it in water, and I almost always get roots to come out. Seems gross, but it works. Some people put like you can use honey, you can use cinnamon, and I tried all those. I did an experiment for myself, which I wish I would have. I wasn't recording back in those days, but if I had a channel back in those days, I would have done exactly. Well, I still might. I might do that experiment just to show that you can try honey, you can try, like I said, your saliva, you can try rooting powder. You can try, I've seen some people claim aspirin, baby aspirin works. I've seen all kinds of crazy claims, but in my testing, this was the one that worked. So I'm going to plop that down, make sure it's in contact with water. I might have to fill this up a little bit more because I want the roots to be as in contact with as much water as possible. And I was just going to show you how this is what I'm talking about. So the branch came off. It's very leggy, which is actually fortunate for my needs. I just cut the leaves off. Get off. I can leave these ones. This is long enough. Usually what I like to do is I like to cut a little slit in the bottom. Again, in the mouth for a second. You don't have to do that, but like I said, I found that it works. Now this one might root, it might not. So I'm gonna set that aside. So that's kind of the fun experiment. Well, put it up here so you can see it. And then these, oh, they smell so good. You can either discard them or you can eat them. They're good. Put them in a salad. All right. Be right back. All right. The reason why I paused is I wanted to show you a fun experiment that I'm going to try because that's what I like to do. See, to me, gardening is fun. You should have fun doing it. As OCDist chick would say, find something you love and have fun doing it. I love messing around in the garden, inside and outside. And so I was growing this buttercup squash in my tower. I'll show a picture of that inside for fun because I accidentally rooted. I accidentally got some seeds that I left in a cup of water, germinated, and gave me a bunch of plants. And it was the middle of winter, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I decided, well, I'll try to make this tower and see if I can get it to grow. And so far, it's been pretty fun and successful. I did cut off a bunch of the old leaves. These were some of the first leaves, and they're looking kind of beat up. Like these were closest to the light. They got a little bit of light burn on them because this plant wants to keep growing to the heavens. But look at the size of this leaf. It's pretty cool. And then another one I cut off is even bigger. It's got like hard spikes. It's really cool. And I've actually eaten some of the leaves. They're pretty good. It's not something I would like, but if I was, if I was desperate, if I was hungry, I'd definitely enjoy it. It just, it's just green vegetable, wasn't anything like, I'm like, oh, I want to eat that again. Now, the tendrils, on the other hand, let me see if I can grab one quick. Hold on. I can just close to it so I can just reach over and grab one of the little springy buddies. There's like a loose one. I was going to try to find like a big, long one, but they're all busy wrapped around everything. That's the funny thing about it is that like in like a day it'll just find something, like even each other they'll wrap around. Like I said, there's a ton more, but they're all busy trying to wrap around something. But here, oops, again, sorry, hit the camera. This is a not pea tendril, sorry. This is a squash tendril from the buttercup squash, and to me, it tastes like a snap pea, or a snow pea rather. So these little guys, they just start off, and they get curlier and curlier, and then they'll find something, and they'll wrap around it, like super tight. It's pretty cool, kind of crazy. I've had one sitting right here. I can show you right on the plant, because look at all these tendrils here. They're all super curly and crazy. But anyway, what I'm going to do is, oh yeah, and so anyway, these to me taste really good. I want to eat them now. Yep. Just tastes like like the snow peas you get with like your Chinese food or whatever. It's pretty good. So anyway, the point of this is I'm going to try to propagate this and see. So I got this big leaf here. I'm going to cut it here and discard that leaf. I'm going to discard this leaf here. So I have this long stem. I'm going to put a little slit in the end. Probably don't need to. But see, there are like little teeny... Oops, sorry. I got to get a different tripod set up for this. I wonder if I can get a close-up of this. No, it doesn't want to focus on. Maybe you can kind of see there's little teeny hairs all over there, kind of like how a tomato plant has. Put that in my mouth for a second. Let's put it in the water. And I'll probably fill this up a little bit more. So, again, here are the tendrils. And see how long it is. What it is, it's reaching out for something. The second it touches something, it'll start winding around it. And it'll lock on pretty tight. This right here, you see this little guy here? Here's a little boy flower. So that's why I wasn't too bad. Didn't feel too bad about cutting this branch off here, because got tons of the boy flowers. Anyway, I'll cut just a little, cut just a little cross section in there so the roots have someplace to come out. But usually, some like tomatoes, they'll come out of the hairs, but sometimes they come out the bottom. So we'll see. Again, I'm not guaranteeing this. I'm not saying that I'm going to be growing squash from this, but I'm certainly going to try. So this one's got all kinds of branches and stuff that I'm going to remove. Again, that was a boy. This is a boy. See, if it was a girl, it would have a little ball behind. Oh, see, this tendril here was from another branch that wrapped itself around here. And see if you can see it. See how it's wrapped around and around and around? That's what it does. Oh, that was a girl. Oh, well. So it would have choked her out anyway, being wrapped around like that. So, no big loss. See here. So, well, there's actually two girls. Oh, well. There's a girl. See, that's a girl. Let me see if I can find the boy. So, as you can see, there's a boy. It's got nothing behind it. There's a girl. It's got a little teeny piece of the fruit that'll turn into a squash if it germinates. Eh, I'll cut the tendrils off here. And I'm going to leave the fruit on there. Why? I don't know. Put that in my mouth for a second. Into the water. All right. So I will keep you updated on. Sorry. Ugh, I definitely need to update the setup. This made me miss my old setup because it was more stable. Every once in a while I hit the tripod, but not as bad as this one because the table's wobbly because I have it connected directly to the table, which is probably a bad idea. But anyway, here's a squash flower. So this is a boy squash flower when it's big. And what you can do is you can actually eat the squash blossoms. But what I like to do is I'll take like a painter's brush. See, when it gets to this stage, it kind of falls apart. And I will go over the pollen and put that in the organza bag with the brush, and hopefully we'll be able to use this pollen to pollinate some more squash in the future, inside or outside. But I have been lucky to have pollinators show up last summer. Before I never saw like a single bumblebee in my garden, and last summer I had tons. And I credit that to growing things like flowers and veggies and things that they want to work with. If you don't grow any of that stuff, they have no reason to hang around. So yeah, so I'm excited to play around, see if I can propagate these things, and of course I'll keep you updated on the successes or failures. And it's lots of fun. All right. Any comments, questions, leave the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.